Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle, aka Stitcherista here on YouTube, and today is Friday, February 11th. And today is actually my step-nephew's 19th birthday. So happy birthday to Lucas. Yeah. I did get to say happy birthday to him. I talked to my dad this morning, and he lives with my dad. And he works with him when he doesn't have school. He's currently in college right now. So I was able to tell him happy birthday on the phone. So yeah, yesterday was a very interesting day for work. So let me tell you. I'm afraid this is going to be a long video. No promises though. So our job was supposed to start at 11 a.m. my time yesterday. So 11 a.m. We're all signed in, 3 of us, editing, my boss, we're all waiting. 11:05, 11:10, 11:15, 11:20 comes and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, what's happening? So I messaged the team because we have an app that we use for group messaging, and I said, I don't know what the holdup is. And just as I was saying that, my boss comes in on our file and says, we're waiting for the questioning attorney to show up. The attorneys are pissed, and they're gonna give him 5 more minutes, and then they're gonna call it, which means we would be able to charge. We usually be charged a flat fee when we have shown up for a job and it cancels, because that's happened a handful of times. Okay, well, 5 minutes later, the videographer that's there, he had contacted the reporting firm that actually scheduled the job. And come to find out, the questioning attorney, who, by the way, all the attorneys are in California. So they're on California time, which is Pacific time, which is 3 hours before me. I'm on Eastern, and my boss and the rest of the team is on Central. So, yeah, so the attorney thought it was 10 a.m. Pacific, which would have been 1 p.m. my time. And they said, so he's rushing to get into his office. Well, he's in Los Angeles, and I'm like, traffic doesn't move fast in Los Angeles, so it's going to be a while. We waited 2 hours. 2 hours for him to get there. And so the job started at 1 p.m. my time, and the attorneys were just, oh my God, the ones that had been sitting there. So we got to charge an extra little fee for waiting for those 2 hours. But because they started so late, the attorney that was there representing the witness said, Mr. So-and-so has to leave at, 2:30, which is 3:30 my time. So we're not going to take a lunch break, but you need to use the most of your time right now. So the deposition only wound up going 2.5 hours, which was fine because I essentially felt like we had been sitting there all day because we waited for 2 hours. But I was just like, oh my God. So the attorney wants to say, the one that had the time wrong, he wants to say the confirmation notice only said 10 a.m., that it didn't say a time zone. So he assumed that it was Pacific time. So I went back and I looked at the confirmation we received. And if he received the same one, which I don't know what ones they receive, it specifically says on the confirmation the time, but then below it says time zone, and it said Central. And see, I have to pay close attention to that because I'm on Eastern, my boss is on Central. I have to have that correct because sometimes it will say Pacific or sometimes it will say Eastern. So I have to account for that when I do the preparation for the job. So I'm thinking that he didn't look closely enough. No. He didn't look closely enough at the time zone. So that was an interesting little tidbit. Good news for my stepdaughter. She has a bachelor. She went to UMBC. But she decided she didn't want to be a teacher, which was what she was going to school for. So her degree is in biology. And she decided she wants to do sonograms, for people, which is a sonography program. So she applied to Johns Hopkins and UMBC, and she got into Johns Hopkins. She heard yesterday, so that's really great for her. I'm pretty sure the program is 18 months, and it starts in the summer. It starts in June, I think, which would mean she would graduate December of 2023. And yeah, so very happy for her. I hope that, this is something that she really decides she wants to do. Um, Sometimes it's hard finding your way of what you really want to do in life, right? So, yeah, yesterday I did a tiny bit of stitching. So the pattern I'm working on is by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and it's called But First Coffee. And if you don't remember what it looks like, that's what it looks like. I changed the colors. I am using, first off, I'm stitching it on Seraphim Fabrics 18 count Aida and Stonewashed. And I just got the teeniest bit done because I didn't get done work until about 5 o'clock yesterday. And Bill was helping a friend change his brakes, so I had about an hour. But I only got done the teeniest, tiniest little bit. So what I am using for the brown color is in the Stitchy Witch box, Death Before Decaf. We got a color in cotton called Death Before Decaf. So I'm using that. And then I'm using Sulky Variegated, which is 4016. And that's a beautiful color though. I mean, look at the variegation in that. So those are the ones I'm using. And I'm doing one strand. I mean, one strand of the Sulky, obviously, but I'm doing one strand of this too. And it looks good. And there's somebody else I watched. Let me try to get you up really close so you can see. It looks good. I really like working with one strand. I really, really love it. And I forget who I was watching yesterday. And they also do one strand on 18 count. Their piece looked amazing that they did. It's all about your perspective, right? And you can do what you want. So, I'm working on that. And I also bought yesterday Carolyn Manning Designs. You guys know I love her stuff. And I've started like 2 different pieces. And they're just so large. And I had put out a post. I don't know if this spurred her to do it. Probably not. Little old me. What am I influencing, right? I said it would be great. I think I asked her why she had done because for some of her patterns you can do smaller ones, why she had smaller ones sometimes versus other ones she didn't do it. And she said, I'm actually in the process of going through those and making some small ones. And she released it yesterday. I'm going to open it up because I bought the PDF version. And Amazon's at the front door. It is based on the Northern Lights one. Remember the one I started? Don't know if I'm going to finish that because I think I'm going to do one of these. This is called Aurora. Oh my God. So you got 4 different ones you can do. And on 18 count, they only work out to 4.5 by 4.5. So I could actually put them in my junk journal. I had a hard time deciding which one. I actually really like the one with the purple, this one. And I like this one. So I don't know which one I'm going to do, and the pattern is only $6. The PDF is only $6. So I went ahead and bought that. And so that was that. And then, I was watching 911 Stitcher, Stacy, and she talked so much about DMC 115, which because I bought all of the vintage cabinet from Lovecrafts, it had all the DMC in it. So I have 115. So I pulled it out because I wanted to show you guys. It looked gorgeous. It's really some gorgeous reds in there. So I'll have to use this for something. I don't know what, but I have a bunch of Valentine patterns. So I think I'm going to use that for something, but it gave such a good variegation and not like too harsh. You know how sometimes the variegation is very harsh and stuff, but not for that. Okay, also someone had asked me a question if they didn't have a sticker maker. My sticker maker is the Xyron Creative Station. If you don't have that, they said, what glue do you like to use? I'm going to show you the best glue I've ever encountered for scrapbooking, because back when I was doing scrapbooking pictures and stuff, I didn't have the sticker maker. So Beacon Zip Dry. Now, it's on Amazon. I will link it down below. What is so great about this glue is that if it spills out over the edges, all you got to do when it dries is just rub it off. It'll come right off. So it is almost like, I want to say it's a little bit like rubber cement in that aspect, but this glue is fantastic. I actually use some of this. Remember the stickers that were popping up on my Be Mine page? I actually use this to tamp them down. And I realized too why those stickers may be coming up on that side, because I touched it with my finger. You know, even if you wash your hands, you still have oils in your finger that if you touch adhesive, it's not going to stick as well. So I think in the future, I'm going to use a pair of tweezers to get off scrapbook stickers, so I'm not touching the adhesive. We'll see if that works on my next piece. But yeah, so zip dry glue, I will link that down below. I did receive, so I want to say her name was Nola. Let me see, she wrote me a little note. It is Nola. She lives in Australia, but she has been living and working in France for the last 4 years. Can you imagine? And she started watching my channel and she saw me collecting the Starbucks mugs. First of all, she sent this really great, don't you just love that? But she typed her letter, which I actually appreciate, because sometimes I've had a hard time reading your guys' handwriting. Just saying. Yeah, but she said, I have a Starbucks mug for you from France. Let's go. Don't you love it? The inside's like a navy blue. I have 2 more spots on my mug rack that Bill got me. Don't you just love this though? I'm going to be drinking out of this one. Yeah, for sure. So thank you so much, Nola. Absolutely love that. And then I got my order from Stitchin' Sisters. My, I will link their channel, their Etsy store down below. I ordered some round grime guards, 10-inch, that will fit on the 11-inch Q-snap. So the pattern I got coffee. It's like coffee cups. I got a gray like damask pattern. Love that one. And then I got a Valentine one, which I really love. Look at that one. But my favorite, my absolute favorite one that I got, this one is roses. Look at this. Oh, couldn't you just die? Yeah, so now I have plenty of those. But yeah, they will stretch. I mean, it's tight because I have one, the one that I have on my 11 by 11 Q-snap currently is from them that I ordered a while ago. Absolutely love them though. 10-inch round ones for hoops will fit in 11 by 11 Q-snap. Okay. So talking points for today. So I have a couple things. There's a couple little ones that I want to talk about. I got to pull them up on Facebook because I have them on my computer right now, but I got to pull them up because, okay. So Clint Eastwood, we all know who he is. If you don't, I don't know where you've been living. He has done some amazing movies and just has had an amazing life as far as like his career and stuff. So one day ago, now I don't know if it means this coming Monday, someone asked him, how old are you, Clint? And he said, I turned 91 on Monday. I don't know if that means this coming Monday or not. And they said, what are you going to do? And he said, I am going to start a new movie. He's a director, a really good one too. And this person says, well, what keeps you going? And Clint Eastwood says, I get up every day and I don't let the old man in. Absolutely love that, right? Your mind is really the battlefield, as in the Joyce Meyer book too. Like, I think you are as old as you allow yourself to feel. And he is looking a little old. Let me show you the picture that they posted. But, you know, I try to remember when my grandfather was 91 and he just started going downhill, you know, having all these ailments. But up until that point, my grandfather was still out there doing yard work and things like that. So I hope that Clint Eastwood lives till he's 100, right? And keeps doing really great movies. Okay, so don't let the old man in or the old woman in. All right, so I have to do this, right? I have to do, so this person has this Ada and they made it look like a piece of lined paper, backstitching, blue and red, and they're like, what can I put on it? I saw this pattern and I'm going to do it. I have to do it for the scrapbook. That Where is it? I'm going to find it. Just bear with me for a second. Because I put it in my cart. You're gonna die laughing. Because I did when I saw it. I'd seen someone that stitched it and I'm like, oh, that'd be perfect for that. Here it is. It says, are you drunk? Yes, no. And then, you know, the person marked well outside of the boxes. Now, you can do any colors you want. Like, I think someone had done, when I saw it stitched, I would probably do it all in black only because the white Ada with the red and black lines, I mean blue and red lines. But isn't that so hilarious? That would take no time at all. You could literally do that in one day. And I would journal a little tiny story about drinking too much at a party last summer. Ooh. Father's Day. It was because I canceled Father's Day breakfast with my dad because I was fucking drunk off my ass or feeling sick. Oh, God. Way too old for that bullshit. Like, way too old now for doing that. Woo. I'm telling you, that was a learning lesson. No. But that, yeah. I will be stitching that. Okay, so. Wait a minute. I'm trying to see all of them because there's one more I wanted to talk about. No, not that. Okay, so Inspirations magazine recently profiled a retired chemistry teacher, Martin Sellner. He shared his triumph of completing a cross-stitch periodic table after 2 decades of stitching. The 82-year-old, he meticulously hand-stitched every inch of the 58-inch by 54-inch piece. Wrap your brain around that. 58 inches wide by 54 inches tall. What? And there are pictures. So it took, the table and border took 6 years. And then finally, the last 9 elements were named by the IUPAC and he was able to complete it. So we're going to look. Here's a picture of the guy. Don't you want to just squeeze him? I had like tears in my eyes, kind of. I mean, look at this. And it's solidly stitched. He filled in all of the squares. And then here's him holding it up. I fucking can't. I cannot with that. Look at that. What? Yeah. But don't you love that? I love seeing stuff like that. I hope I'm going to do everything I can to stitch into my old age till I'm dead, which I hope is, 50 years from now, because I'm going to be 48 in May. Let me live till I'm 98 or higher, right? But only if I have my faculties about me, seriously. Okay, so yeah, wasn't that just so amazing? Absolutely just love that. So I started a new book today. Oh, I finished my 9th book last night called The Marriage Trap. Why do I keep wanting to say pact? The Marriage Trap. It was okay. I gave it 4 stars. I was kind of glad to get done with it though, but it had an interesting story, but I've read better books. This book, someone suggested it to me. Let me, excuse me. Where is Amazon? I'm like, I know I have Amazon on here. The book is called The Housekeeper. I forget who it's by. Okay. It is by Natalie Borelli. And I follow her. Okay. This actually came out in 2019. I mean, there are so many books that come out that, you can't possibly keep up. Okay, so here's the premise. Now, I've only read 2 chapters, but I'm already hooked on it. She's a liar. She's a stalker. She's in your house. When Claire sees Hannah Wilson at an exclusive Manhattan hair salon, it's like a knife slicing through barely healed scars. It may have been 10 years since Claire last saw Hannah, but she has thought of her every day and not in a good way. So Claire does what anyone would do in her position. She stalks her. Hannah is now Mrs. Carter, living the charmed life that should have been Claire's. It's the life Claire used to have before Hannah came along and took it all away from her. Back then, Claire was a happy teenager with porcelain skin and long wavy blonde hair. Now she's an overweight, lazy drunk with hair the color of compost and skin to match. Which is why when Hannah advertises for a housekeeper, Claire is confident she can apply and not be recognized. And since she has time on her hands, revenge on her mind, and a talent for acting, because what better way to seek retribution and redress than from within the beautiful Mrs. Hannah Carter's own home? Except that it's not just Claire who has secrets. Everyone in that house seems to have something to hide, and now there's no way out. Woo! Yeah, you guys know that is my type of book all day long to read, so I very much will enjoy that. I also, though, I have been reading a book, I just started it, called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was in the Auschwitz concentration camps, and he survived. But it's about, again, man's search for meaning. And, you know, I like to read books like that because I think there are certain times in our lives that we all question, what's our purpose, right? What are we here for? What are we doing? And I was reading something, one of the groups I belong to, one of the book groups, someone said, I've been really depressed, and, you know, do you guys have any suggestions for self-help books? Like to find my meaning, the meaning of my life. And someone suggested this book, and they also suggested another one that I can't get on Kindle, that I would have to get the paperback, called, what is it called? Wait a minute. It's in my cart. Oh no, I did order it. Wait a minute. I'm going to tell you in a second. It is called When All You've Ever Wanted Isn't Enough, The Search for a Life That Matters by Harold Kushner. And yeah, I couldn't get it by Kindle. They only had it in paperback, so I ordered it. Oh, one other thing that I wanted to mention, there are people that have this sulky, because you know the sulky comes in spools. They don't like the cases. Why do I have 3 emails? Oh, Amazon. They don't like the cases that sulky came in, so they bought lipstick organizers, acrylic ones that look like this, like these, because I started looking for them. But then I thought to myself, my God, I have like, I don't know, 200 spools of sulky between all of the ones I've bought. I said, I'm good with the cases. I need to like seriously, I need to like not just buy everything everybody else has. Although that is a nice idea if you are building your collection. I like that. But I was like, nah, I'm just going to stick with the cases. I'm good. Yeah. But if you guys are looking for a way to organize your sulky, if you only have a couple spools, acrylic lipstick holders. Amazon has a shit ton of them. All right. So we are going to read an inspirational story today. And this one is called Chance Encounter. And I glanced over the story so I know how it ends, and I just absolutely love the premise behind it. So Mark was walking home from school one day when he noticed the boy ahead of him had tripped and dropped all of the books he was carrying, along with 2 sweaters, a baseball bat, a glove, and a small tape recorder. Mark knelt down and helped the boy pick up the scattered articles. Since they were going the same way, he helped to carry part of the burden. As they walked, Mark discovered the boy's name was Bill, that he loved video games, baseball, and history, and that he was having lots of trouble with his other subjects, and that he had just broken up with his girlfriend. They arrived at Bill's home first, and Mark was invited in for a Coke and to watch some television. The afternoon passed pleasantly with a few laughs and some shared small talk, and then Mark went home. They continued to see each other around school, had lunch together once or twice, and then both graduated from junior high school. They ended up in the same high school where they had brief contacts over the years. Finally, the long-awaited senior year came, and 3 weeks before graduation, Bill asked Mark if they could talk. And Bill reminded him of the day years ago when they had first met. And he asked Bill, did you ever wonder why I was carrying so many things home that day? No, Bill asked Mark, did you ever wonder why I was carrying so many things home? You know, he had the baseball bat, the tape recorder, all this stuff, right? And Bill proceeds to tell him, you see, I cleaned out my locker because I didn't want to leave a mess for anyone else. I had stored away some of my mother's sleeping pills and I was going home to commit suicide. But after we spent some time together talking and laughing, I realized that if I had killed myself, I would have missed that time and so many others that might follow. So you see, Mark, when you picked up those books that day, you did a lot more. You saved my life. And I absolutely, it almost like gets me choked up right now reading that, because I just think that a lot of people feel like we have to do these big grand gestures for things to matter, and absolutely not at all. I think even the most simplest, sending someone a text, sending someone an email, sending someone a message just saying, it's okay, I'm thinking of you, there's better times to come. I mean, something just as simple as that, as simple as Mark helping this boy to pick up his books and then going to his house and helping him and sitting with him for a day. Just that impacted that boy's life tremendously. I mean, I just think so. The smallest act of kindness, you know, I try to trust my instinct and my intuition. When something tells me to send someone a text, send someone an email, I try not to tamp that down and ignore it. I will stop and do it, because I know that when my grandparents passed, a lot of you messaged me, and especially when I was going through breast cancer treatment in 2017 for that whole year, I had so many people message me on a daily basis. And I remember distinctly Layla Claiborne, who is a stitcher, and she stitches Heaven and Earth Designs. She lives in Louisiana, and she is very much a praying person. She literally, I think, messaged me every day or every other day and said, can I pray for you? Yeah, have at it. You know, I'm never going to say no, but just having that kind of thing. So it doesn't have to be, okay, oh my God, I had to pause. I started crying. And didn't really want to cry right on there on the camera, but I really just remember that time and all of the messages and cards, and I mean, Layla did. She messaged me. It was at least every couple of days. I mean, I just received that whole year, the whole year. And I also remember Arlene, not Arlene Works by ABC, not that Arlene. Another Arlene, she sent me a card every week for that year. Every week. I will never, ever forget those things. My whole life, I don't think I'll ever forget the kindness and the generosity of people, that when people are going through a hard time, man, we have a village, we have a community that is just so tremendously supportive and wonderful. So the smallest act of kindness, please, don't think that you don't have an effect on people, because you absolutely do. Okay. So, today's entry for unfucking ourselves. Ooh, this is a long one. And if I didn't tear it off okay, that came off. You know what? I think I'm actually going to, I'm going to save this one to put in my journal. Although I tore it funny. Dang it. Okay. This one's kind of long. We're all human beings. We all get to experience our lives from our own little private bubble of reality. But we'll defend that stupid little bubble all the way to divisiveness, and resentment, meaning dividing. And for what? To be right? Oh no, don't tell me. To protect yourself? I listen to a lot of motivational speakers. I listened to Steve Harvey last night for a good hour before I went to bed. And he mentioned like our little bubble. And you know, most of the time, I think we have to be more flexible. And I say that as somebody who likes to have control over a lot of stuff, but we don't have control over very much at all. And as I've gotten older, I find that I want to be more flexible. I don't want to be so rigid in everything that I do, right? So maybe that's what that means. I don't know. I don't really understand that one completely. Okay. Let's leave off with the chance encounter, Mark story, Bill's story. The smallest act of kindness. That's what I want you to take away from this video today. Can make a huge impact on someone's life. Okay. I hope you guys are all having a great Friday. I didn't have any work today, so I did my nails. They look nice, don't they? Yeah, the gel nails, you know, I don't do Color Street anymore. These are the semi-cured gel nails. They look really good. And I belong to a bunch of Facebook groups for these, how to do these properly. And boy, there are definitely some tips and tricks out there. So I did my nails, I did house stuff, just doing all kinds of stuff. It's 2 o'clock right now, so Bill will be home in about an hour and a half. So I'm going to get this video processed and sit down and do some stitching and listen to some podcasts and enjoy the rest of the day. And it's the weekend. Yay! Super Bowl on Sunday. I'm going to see Mom on Sunday. She's coming over. I do their taxes, so we're going to get that taken care of because it's going to be a little more complicated this year. With her selling my grandmother's house and doing my grandmother's last tax return and things like that. So, but I have a massage tomorrow. We're going to dinner tomorrow night. I'm taking my stepdaughter and her boyfriend to dinner to celebrate her getting accepted into Johns Hopkins. And yep, then Sunday, Super Bowl, Mom coming over. Monday's Valentine's Day. Yeah. Okay. Again, I hope you guys are all having a great Friday. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.